start the show. The Good Life with BT. It's Nicole. Welcome to the Good Life.
You are now listening to the Good Life Podcast.
Good Life. Good Life. These boys are crazy.
You are now listening to the Good Life Podcast.
Good Life. What? A Good Life.
What up, Spicoli?
Yo, DT, what's poppin'?
What's poppin'? We on podcast number 50.
Where does the time go, man? A lot of rock stars, a lot of interviews, a lot of fun, and this is a very special 50th podcast.
It is, man. It is. We've had some of our favorite artists from about the time era that we're going to talk to this dude from, about Story of the Year. Man, that was a good one. That was probably around the same time. We got Mayday Parade, tons of people. But today is special. We got a dude from probably, man, it's top 5 bands ever. No doubt about it. We got Spencer on from Underoath. What is going on, my man?
What's up? What up, guys? Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. We've been kind of talking back and forth about this for a while and just haven't been able to line up until recently. So it's good to put a face to the name. So thanks for having me.
It lines up really well because you guys just announced something that's super badass. You guys got the 20th anniversary of Your Only Chasing Safety.
Yeah.
Or Their Only Chasing Safety. I said it wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, man. So we've known about the tour for a minute and we've been sitting on it. And what's crazy is before it came time to even, we've been writing for the last 2 years. And like we started to come upon this like 20th anniversary thing, and it's like it's exciting and it's cool, and I'm excited to celebrate those times. But it's really tough when honestly last week we finished our new record and it's about to go to mix any day now, and I'm listening to Underoath at its best in my back pocket, and I have to go play a record we wrote when we were 18, and not bashing, I'm proud of everything we've done, but like we've come such a long way. So it's really, I think it's going to make this even a little bit tougher because Chasing Safety for me is a little hard to relate to because I was so young, like think about when you were, I don't know how old you guys are, but we're all 40 now. And
right. Yeah, exactly.
And we were 18 when we started writing that. 18, 19 years old. So to think about the things you cared about back then, and for me, it's pretty public knowledge that I had a lot of substance abuse issues and a lot of depression and mental health issues and stuff and all of that was before, like every song from Define the Great Line on, I can really grab onto because there's a lot of real pain and a lot of real moments in my life that defined me as a man and things that I had to crawl through and get out of. And Chasing Safety was us just writing songs that we thought sounded cool. And not to bash the record, we were kids trying to figure it out, like there was no expectation. There was no nothing. It was a great time. And it's a record that changed our lives for sure. And I'm excited to go out and celebrate with the people that care about that record, or they jumped on for that record, or a lot of people found out about us on Define the Great Line and then went backwards. Whatever it may be, it's exciting and fun, but it is hard to, like, when I play those songs now, I play them for the fans. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm not like releasing anything. I'm not grabbing onto a moment in my life that really defined me or something that I had to, a lot of the songs that we write are things that you like, it's hard to talk about, the things that you couldn't tell a friend or your parents or your partner or whatever it was. Like there was a lot of demons at different times through Underoath's career that we all experienced, and Chasing Safety really wasn't that, that it was just songs, and I'm okay with that. But it's this one's about the fans. This tour is going to be about celebrating a time that defined a lot of our career and a lot of these people's lives, and it'll be fun. But it's not, when we do the 20-year of Define the Great Line, if we do one, like I can really still relate, I can really sing those songs and pour out that emotion that I felt so deeply, you know? And with Chasing Safety, it's all about just like, when I see the people reacting, I'm like, okay, we're good. But getting up before going up there, I'm like, I kind of dread it a little bit, you know? Like, I'm just like, man, like, God, we were 18, 19 years old. Like, I don't even remember what we cared about, you know? So it's a bittersweet thing. It's a little bit of I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining about tours that it's selling out 6 months in advance.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. This is how I feel about that. So Reinventing Your Exit, right? That was the one that popped off. And that's it. Honestly, right. Spicoli, he was on the radio and he played it for the first time here in Omaha, and I heard it. And that was like a hook and switch kind of a deal, because you listen to that song and then you buy the album and you're like, that's the only song like that.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, it gets a lot heavier than that. So honestly, man, I mean, I think during that time you guys released that, I almost feel like you guys defined that genre when you dropped that, because that opened up, I think, a lot of people who were mainly into, Simple Plan and Good Charlotte and those kind of bands. And then you guys came along and dropped that album.
Right.
And I think that really defined that whole genre.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that was never the goal, like we all liked different music and we were just having fun, like writing songs in a practice space. It was just, I'm glad that it did, like we didn't really notice until later when people were singing those songs so loud that anyone cared, like before that we were playing VFW halls and basement shows and 50 people and 100 people were showing up, so
that's nuts, dude.
You know what I think is cool is that, you have the courage to go back and celebrate the 20, because like you said, there was a lot of pain, and it's like you don't really connect with some of those songs anymore. And some artists, they're like, nope, that was way back in the day. I ain't going back. This is where I'm at right now. But there's so many fans that can gravitate towards that album, and that still excites them. So, I mean, yeah, when you say it's about the fans, that really is about a testament to you and the band, like just going out and wanting to do it again.
Well, and what's cool to me is, so we came up with this idea because Chasing Safety is only about 40 minutes long. So we haven't played, except for when we did a co-headlining tour, we haven't played under an hour and 20 minutes since before we did the breakup, and got back together. So yeah, there's a lot of room left for music. And I think what I'm excited about the most is, if you bought a ticket, you're going to get an email at some point as we get closer to the tour to where you can vote on, I don't know if it's going to be 6 songs or 7 songs. I don't know. Let's just say for math's sake, it's 6. That's a number we've thrown around. I don't know if it's going to be 6 or more. I got to really look at the time of what it's going to take. But every city gets to, if you have a ticket, you get to vote. You get to pick 6 songs that you want to hear that have come out between They're Only Chasing Safety and now. So what it's cool, I think, about this is not only does it get the fans involved, number one, that's cool. And I like shit like that. Number two, it allows every city to be different. And when we're playing multiple nights in cities, if you wanted to go back to back, this whole second half of the set could be completely different.
I like that.
And
that's
number
cool.
3, what I think is, in hindsight, looking at it, when I was explaining it to my friend of how it works, I was kind of thinking about, it really gives the fan a chance to flip back through the Underoath catalog and be like, oh, I used to love that song, or I still love this song, or it gets people flipping back through the catalog before we go, here's some new music. Check this shit out. Because when we're done with this 20th anniversary tour, it's time to restart, rebrand. We're sitting on, and I know every band says this, but I'm proud of everything we've done, but I swear to you guys, I have not felt like this, and I have not seen the band like this since we made Define the Great Line. So whatever happened when we were making that record, we were making something that we wanted and we felt really special. If something special happened when we were making Define the Great Line, and there was an opportunity to lose every fan we could have made, because it was so different, right? But there was something in the room and we were on it. at that point in our career. And I think we've tried to maintain that, and we've done a very good job evolving and continuing to reinvent ourselves as Underoath. But there was something about that time that I haven't felt from my bandmates until this recent recording session. And I'm saying that, like, Underoath hasn't been fun in a long time. It's been fun on tour. It's been fun to play, but the studio has been nothing but painful fights and arguments and disagreements until we find a place to where we're all okay. And it's some of my least favorite times of the year. Every 2 years was like, fuck, I got to go make a record with these guys. I'm not the kind of guy who, I don't like confrontation. I'm not non-confrontational, right. But I don't want to fight with you. I've known you for 20 years. I don't need to fucking call you a piece of shit and yell at your face. Like, I don't need that in my life.
Right.
So it was always kind of a dreadful, like, God, the tensions are going to get high. Someone's going to punch a hole in the wall. Someone's going to freak out and walk away for a day and come back. You know, it's going to suck, but the end result's going to be special. But this time we found a way. I mean, we worked our asses off, but we found a way to have all the tough conversations throughout the year and getting everyone on the same page to feel like it was like when we went to Define the Great Line, we went into that record going, I know what I don't want, and that's Chasing Safety Part 2. And everything else is on the table, and I want everyone here to be happy. And this is the first time I looked around the room, every single song we finished for this record, all the guys were happy and having fun and stoked. And I haven't seen that in Underoath since maybe 2006. And wow. I don't care if this record flops and no one gives a shit about it, because I don't need a fucking Cybertruck. I don't give a shit. You know, I get to play music with my friends again on stage that they fucking love it, because I hate getting up there playing a song that I love that the guy to my right fucking hates, and vice versa. Like it is like, this is my family, man. Like, and it's so brutal to have that in your career, and every band has that. But to know that, like, whatever happens, if this record blows up or if this record, no one cares and decides they're going to disown us, I don't care. I finally feel like I have my friends back and we're playing music that we love and we're all happy. I'm good, man.
That's what it's about. Man.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm like
space, bro.
I'm in a good place with it, and I just feel like, hey, man, whatever happens, happens. And I remember having that same feeling during Define, because it was so heavy compared to Chasing Safety, and it was so it was mathy and it was weird, and people loved it. I mean, that's our biggest selling record to this date still. But there was a huge risk there, and we didn't care because we were young and we didn't know any better. Now we've all got kids and mortgages, and we should care, but we're also like, we need to do what's right for us, and we need to feel, because I really think that's what happens to bands as they get a career, is they start doing things for the wrong reasons and without even knowing it. Like, you got to please the fans, you got to please the label, you got to keep selling bigger rooms, you got to do this, you got to do that. And those things are kind of influencing your music without you knowing it. And to really truly go in and be like, I just want to see the five of us stand up on this seat that we're on the studio and jump off the fucking counter because we're so pumped about what's coming back to the speakers, then we're good.
Oh yeah. Because
I think if we love it, that's how things blew up in the first place, right? Because we loved something that we made, like Chasing Safety and Define the Great Line, where there was no expectation, or we didn't care about the expectation, depending on what record you're talking about. And those things people really latched onto because it's honest, and there was nothing else more to it. And I'm really happy that 20 years in, we found that in ourselves again to be able to do that. And as much as I want to sit here and talk about how excited I am about a sellout Chasing Safety tour, I'm like, cool, yeah, that's great. I'm happy to celebrate, but I cannot wait for what's next. Because I just, like, I'm proud of my bandmates. I'm proud of the friendships that we've been able to maintain for 21 something years, and be able to, like, make music to where we were like, I'll never forget what we just did, because it was so special to me, because I've been wanting that for so long, just like us to be happy and have fun again. Like, it's just been way too long.
We'll be back after a quick break. The Good Life Podcast with DT and Spicoli, proud to be partnered up with Sharp Painting. Over 16 years experience and family owned for 3. Put trusted hands on your interior and exterior painting needs. With summertime around the corner, have Sharp power wash your deck, stain your fence, and get 10% off. Now's the time to get outdoor ready. Sharp Painting. Reach out to them on Facebook for a bid. Sharp Painting LLC. That's SCHARFF Painting LLC. Or Sharp Painting@gmail.com. You can also call 402-637-9342.
So
DT, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to run through a brick wall and hear this new album like right now. Like what song, dude, what song, if you could release it today, would you want to get off your chest and just let everybody hear it? What's one song that we are just need to hear?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. Like we haven't gotten it mixed yet, so that can change. But there's not
That's
one.
a good point.
There's not one on there that I don't. It's like, it's different, but it's fresh and it's heavy. Yeah, there's a bunch I would want people to hear. The song I'm thinking about putting as the opening track, I don't necessarily like when bands release the opening track first, but the way that people digest music now is a lot of times they don't even go through the album, they just go through the singles. So I might want to release the song that I think should be first on the record first, because it just rips your fucking face off, like, and I think that's what I want, is for people to not see it coming and just,
oh yeah, So, all right, this whole thing was going to be based on chasing safety, but not anymore. It's now I'm going to just go straight into Underoath questions that I've always had, if that's cool. So, Aaron is back with you guys now, right?
Yeah, he came back when we got back together. So Aaron's been back with us since he was only out for one record and a couple of tours. And then when the band got back together in 2016, it's been the original as far as Chasing Safety lineup goes.
And that was Disambiguation, right? That he was off?
Yeah, he was not on that.
Okay,
record.
so that was the last time I saw you live.
Okay.
And I remember I drove to Des Moines, Iowa to see you guys with Day to Remember.
Okay.
And I didn't know Aaron wasn't in the band yet. And I had heard In Division. That's the song I heard off that album. And I was like, okay, this is different, but it's really good.
Heavy.
And then I heard Paper Lung, and I was like, okay, Spencer's singing a lot more now. So my question is, do you think whenever Aaron left, it kind of let you open up a little bit more and explore and mature a little bit more? And then when he came back, it kind of like came together more? Because I saw you live, dude, I was super impressed with what you did with that album. I love that fucking album.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like, I was singing in bands before Underoath, and then I started screaming in bands. I started doing both. Like, even on Chasing Safety, I sing a lot and I scream. Obviously, I scream all the screaming, but there's a lot of singing on there too. All the records, I'm singing on as well. And I think it was just, I think Disambiguation was just feeling. There's something about Underoath that's so chaotic because it's all over the place, and having, my vocals, and like whenever I'm taking a breath like a normal singer, when there's someone else to fill in the gap, it makes it very different. So I think learning how to fill all that on your own, and I'd been in bands where I've done it all by myself before plenty of times, but it's different with Underoath because there's so much going on. So I felt like, it was a challenge that I was willing to step up to and had no problems doing it. But I think it does force you to like rethink, readjust, and I think I was in a really weird place too. I was a drug addict and really hanging on for dear life. And I don't think that I would have overthought it if I was sober or something. Yeah. Because I was just in it, I was like, the train has to keep moving. You can't stop it now, so I just did it. And I care about that album a lot. And you're seeing a lot of people caring about it now. It's like one of the cult classics of our catalog where it's
so good when it came out, dude.
We got so many fans talking about it now, especially because we're doing the fan voted sets and stuff. And I'm interested to see, what happens in different cities, like what different places care more about what song over what song or what album, so.
And so how do you prepare for that? Like when fans are like voting on these songs, do you put out the 6 they can vote for, or can they vote for any 6?
They can vote for any song that has come out between 2004 and 2024. So
okay, so you guys have to be prepared for anything then.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. And honestly, if a song gets picked that maybe we're not prepared for, like maybe that's just kind of part of the show, where we're like, because I think we'll find out before doors, but we've got sound check maybe to run over it, and maybe you see Underoath mess up. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's something like, and I think that this tour is going to be different. Like normally we come out swinging like big production, 9 Inch Nails style, like over the top show, and like it's a concert, but this is going to be more like a club show, even though they're, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be more like it was back in the day where we're kind of talking to the crowd, and it's not a big production. It's just more of a throwback to how it started. And then let's say a song gets voted on that we haven't played in 15 years. Like maybe I have to pull out my cell phone and read my own lyrics. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So.
I was going to
ask.
Yeah,
I was wondering, will you have a teleprompter on stage?
I won't. So I think it's going to be like, hey, if y'all really voted for this, and this is one of the ones that got most of the votes, you're going to have to help me fucking sing it, because I don't remember.
That's almost the best kind.
Yeah, I think there's
like when
something
you
cool
can get the
about
crowd
that.
involved like that, like dude, those are some of the best shows, and sometimes that's where the memories are. They're like, oh man, were you there when Spencer couldn't remember the lyrics and we're all singing it for him?
Yeah,
that's kind of like the best core memories, like when that kind of stuff, like when different moments happen like that, people remember that.
Yeah, and I think that's what we wanted to do. It's like there's no way in hell we can have every song in our catalog from 2004 to 2024 down pat. So if there is a city where people decide like, hey man, we want to hear, I don't know, some song that we obviously haven't played in forever, we might be in a situation, where it's like, all right, we're doing this shit together. This is the only, we're 20 cities in on this tour. No one voted for this song except for y'all. So
right.
Let's not only make it special, but you're going to have to help us, because we have no clue, like we listened to it for an hour before doors open or whatever it is, like it makes, at first it made me very nervous. And then when I like accepted it, I was like, you know what, this is going to be sick. It's going to be like it's going to be fun. Like, cause I think Underoath is so serious, and it's such like we always wanted to feel like, like when you see those bands like 9 Inch Nails and Deftones, it's very like professional and it's serious, and it's like, man, what a show. I can't believe how great that show was. But I think this is going to be just more like, this is a celebration. This is fun. And if y'all vote for some crazy song we haven't played in 15 years, you might see us fuck up, but we're going to laugh about it as it's going to be great. So I think it's just going to be a different way to see Underoath that you probably won't ever see again in this way, because of how different we're approaching this set. Like it's going to be, because even when we did the Rebirth thing, it was very planned out and like good production, and not saying the production is going to be bad, but like, it was very, every night's the same, and we've got this thing, it's a moving ship, and there's visuals and all this stuff. Right. And it's like, I think this is going to be more like, if you saw us back then, it's going to kind of resemble that, but obviously better,
So talking about older songs, my buddy Al, I told him I'd ask if I got the opportunity, and you've presented the perfect segue to ask the question, so I'll ask it. He's got a tattoo on his arm with some lyrics, and he said, I want to know why they don't play this song live anymore. And I said, my bet is, he said he's Googled it and researched it, he couldn't figure it out. And I said, this is before Spencer was in the group. But he wanted to know why When the Sun Sleeps, you guys won't play that song live anymore. And I was like, well, it's before Spencer. I don't know if that's why.
We played it. We played it when I joined the band for a couple years. And even when Chasing Safety came out, we kept playing that song and a few others. And then we just started, as we toured more and more, as the band was gaining popularity, we were realizing that no one knew it. During that time, as Underoath was blowing up, right, you're like, one in every 200 or 300 people in the room knows it. It's like, it got to the point where it was almost like a painful song to play, not because it was
killing the mood.
Well, yeah, just because no one, like, especially when we got to Europe and stuff, and like we're different places, and we're like playing the song that everyone's like, you know, and,
Oh no!
and
yeah.
Crowd reaction, the crowd will tell you.
So we cut it out, and then after COVID, our first show back was Furnace Fest, which is kind of a throwback festival. We played it there and retired it. Right, we were like, we're going to play it one more time. We rehearsed it and retired it. But I think we've talked about the only song before 2004 that will make it to the list of songs to vote on will be that song, just because of this era that we're touring through, this album that we're celebrating. And I think a lot of people went back to that song after they found out about us with Chasing Safety or To Find the Great Line. That's like the one song that you might know from our past,
right?
When they were different members. I mean, over half the band was different, and it was all, you know, high school people.
Exactly.
So then the band has grown and stuff, but I think we've talked about, it's every song from 2004 on, but we're already playing Chasing Safety. So you're basically looking at 2006 on. But we've talked about, why don't we put When the Sun Sleeps on there, just because we're celebrating that time. And this could really be the retirement of that song, you know, because, you know, it could be fun. So I don't know. Don't hold me to it if you're listening to this and it's not on the list. Just know it's not me, it's Aaron, it's Chris, it's Tim, and Grant. Spencer said, let's play it, let's add it to the list, let's let people vote on it. But okay, there we go.
There we go.
Boom.
So if people who listen have not seen Underoath and they love, you know, Chasing Safety, there is a song on that album that happens live that is by far my favorite thing I've ever seen live. And it's Dangerous Business, Walking Out Your Front Door. I don't know about you. I when you guys do it live, it's so freaking cool. When everything drops out and that choir starts singing, dude, and the whole crowd starts kicking in, and then you bring it back in. That is by far probably one of my favorite concert moments ever.
Yeah, that's a good moment. We played that song. Some of these songs, Out Chasing Safety, we've never really stopped playing. Like, we still play Boy Brush Red. We play Dangerous Business. Most tours we play Reinventing Your Exit. But we've been playing Boy Brush Red and Dangerous Business at every show since 2004. You know, those are the two. I think Boy Brush Red and Dangerous Business are the two biggest songs off that record, next to then probably Reinventing Your Exit, and so on and so forth. But you're going to hear them all. And then whatever else y'all want to hear, it's up to you, you know, or you and your friends.
Rapture, I Hate it.
Any of it.
I hate it. It is fucking killer, dude.
Yeah,
me and my wife were just jamming it out last night.
All of those songs will be on there, so you can vote for.
I'm ready to vote.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
let's pop off two more questions. Let's pop off two more. Spicoli, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
For it. You got
All
this.
right. I did this with Story of the Year, and I'm gonna give you the same option because Story of the Year's 20th anniversary didn't come through Omaha either. So should I come to the Underoath show in Des Moines or Kansas City? You pick.
What's the venue in Des Moines?
Vol-Air Ballroom. That was the last time I saw you guys. Was there? I think that's how you say it. That was with Day to Remember when you played there.
Okay,
but I've never been down to Kansas City for a concert. I don't think either. So
I don't know. The Midwest stuff, the middle of America, it's hit or miss. It's not like the coastline where I could tell you for sure. And I know Omaha, we've had some great shows. Like
last time you were here, you with Good Charlotte, dude.
The so
last time I saw you
the
here.
so-called ballroom place is
Auditorium.
That place. It's hard. Des Moines.
I'll make it easy on you. I'll come to Kansas City.
Kansas City. I'm trying to think what venues are in Kansas City and what venues are in Des Moines that I would know which cities, what kind of crowd each one has. Because I know Boise is tough.
Like it's a tough draw, or is it like a tough crowd? What do you mean?
It's like,
yes.
We did this Rebirth tour when we got back together. It was the only city that didn't sell out. And then when it didn't, there was some weirdness in the crowd. I remember. Des Moines is tough. So Kansas City. What venues are in Kansas City? Do you know what venue we're playing in Kansas City?
I'm Googling it right now.
Okay.
My buddy hit me up. He's from Kansas City. He's like, I already bought meet and greets and everything. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got Spencer coming on the podcast. And he was like, what? And I was like,
I'm trying to think.
So I told him that I would try to come down and kick it with him.
Is Woolies
kind of my plan.
Is Woolies a venue in
Woolies? That's Des Moines.
Which is one of the options, right?
Yeah, I think in Des Moines, I think you're playing at Vol Air.
Yeah, and so you asked about Des Moines or Kansas City, right?
Yeah, which one would you say is going to be?
Maybe Kansas City. I remember Des Moines being a smaller crowd, but fucking wild. Yeah. And I remember liking Woolies, and I like that area. I like the burger, the taco plate, the barcade is great. It's a cool little area, but I think we're playing a different venue, right?
Arvis Bank in Kansas City. I'm coming to Kansas City. How about that? We'll just have that happen.
All right.
I'll come to Kansas City.
All right. I got to ask Spencer this. I got to ask him. All right. So you're in the studio. You were asked to do a remix of Reinventing Your Exit. And you get to pick one screamer to do it with you. Who are you collaborating with?
Oh. I don't know. I've got so many friends in this fun little world. I don't know. Because of that song, it doesn't really fit the much of what the screaming world would lead to. You know? I mean, I just have so many friends that would be fun to collaborate with, you know? I don't know. I really don't know. That's a tough question.
I was gonna say, could you really add another screamer to that album? I don't think you can. It's got a very original sound. That would be hard to do, man.
Yeah, I don't. And it's such an outdated sound on that record. It's hard to wrap your brain around what it would sound like now. You know, hard to say, man. Hard to say.
I would love to see
Finch.
Who?
The lead singer of Finch. There you go. That'd be weird.
Okay.
If it could be dead or alive, I would go with Chester from Linkin Park because his voice was one of the things I idolized as a kid, obviously. But alive, I don't know. That's
you know what DT's going to do now is he's going to take it to AI generator, like put a mix together and see what that would sound like.
Bad Omens is what it's going to be.
Oh damn! Okay,
that would be a dope screaming.
I've always envisioned like Underoath collaborating with Taking Back Sunday and doing a song together. I would fucking love to see that.
Yeah, I've been friends with Adam for forever. Yeah, I don't. Do they do a lot of collaborative? I get asked to do a lot of collaborative work. I write on a lot of people's albums. Aaron does too. I write and I feature on albums, or I just write. Like, I don't know if Taking Back Sunday ever does that collaboration outside of the room of their band and whoever's producing. But I'm always game. I would love to write a song with them. Yeah.
All right, final question. When do you think the new album's coming out there?
2025. Oh, yeah. You got to think about it, man. It's like,
I know, man.
So we've got a 20th anniversary celebration. Like, we have to tend to it.
Mm-hmm.
And vinyl takes so long. And I think we're a band that's vinyl is like a huge thing. We've got a lot of fans that are collectors. And we want to make sure that it's there, not like, oh, the album's coming out, pre-order and get your vinyl. And it's like vinyl ships in 6 months. Like, that sucks. Like the guy who like spent all the money and like went out of his way to like get it before they're sold out, and he has to wait the longest. Like, that's like delaying a kid's Christmas till June. Like, that fucking blows, you know? Like, so I think there'll be maybe a single or two out before 2025, but we're going to have to hold to 2025 because of that tour. I think that's just nothing to complain about too hard, you know, like we get to go out and celebrate, you know, being in this band for half our life, you know, but
on that tour, how do you resist not playing a new song?
Who says we won't?
There's the question of
yes.
there's the question of the interview.
Yes.
Book it.
Who says we won't?
Honestly, bro, when we were chatting a few weeks ago and you told me you guys were, he's like, yeah, I'm busy because we're going to be in the studio recording the new Underoath album. I was just like, yes, dude, that is the best news I've heard in a long time, man.
Yeah.
So,
I couldn't be more stoked on the outcome. So,
hell yeah, dude. Well, I gotta be on, dude. Thanks so much, man, for coming on and making our 50th podcast with you, bro. You were, like I've told everybody, we made a post, like, this is one of my bucket list guests, man, was to get you on, man.
Thank
so
you, dude.
It's on our 50th, man. It's a huge deal for me, man.
I love podcasts. I love chatting. I could speak for way too long. I talk a lot. So, and like you said, we're gonna hop back on. I've got a solo project called Slow Tide for any of those people listening to the Underoath podcast that don't know. If you want to hear me in a completely different light, it is as opposite from Underoath as possible. It's I'm a person that's not all darkness and not all. I was never a metal kid or a hardcore kid. I was just a music kid. Like, I was listening to, Coldplay's Parachute's first record when I was also listening to Dillinger's Skate Plan Under the Running Board. And this was before Spotify and all that, which is way more normal now. But back then, like, I was never, I've been playing music since I think my first show that I really played in a venue, I was 12 years old. So, like, I played in rock bands, new metal bands, punk rock bands, metal bands, pop bands. I just love music. So, I started to write. I write for a lot of other people, like I said a minute ago. And at one point, I just realized that I needed to do something for my own brand and for myself that was just making music that I want to listen to when I'm driving my car, which isn't always metal or heavy.
It usually comes out to be their best stuff, though, man, when you do it that way.
Yeah. So we're going to hop back on and chat again. And, I will spill all the beans about that. So.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Well, yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on, bro. But, we're going to have him back. We're going to chat about some Slow Tide, so.
Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate you, man.
I hope that whatever show you do decide to come to, you just send me a message there, DT, and I will make sure we can meet up and have a proper hug and high five. If you're a coffee guy, maybe we can grab a coffee. Yeah. Are you a coffee guy?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, maybe
absolutely. Let's do it, bro.
Yeah, if you come out early enough, we'll grab a coffee. And in Kansas City, if you're making the drive, we'll do it. We'll find one.
Hell yeah, man. That is a deal. I will be there, sir. So we will see each other soon.
Until the midnight hour. All the way to the midnight hour.